What's up, YouTube? Today I'm bringing you the deck profile of my evilswams for the January 2014 format. They didn't get touched at all on the ban list, so that's good. I had success with this deck over this last format, so I thought, maybe I'll play it again. And yeah, let's get right into the profile. 3 caster, extra normal summons are good. It's your main way to start the game. You always want to open with it. 3 Kirkion. This is your grind game winner. 3 Mandragora. Really good opening, really good going second. And it stresses something that I feel evilswarm stressed to begin with, but I really like that it stresses it more. This deck is not weak to Max C at all. Because if your opponent thinks you have Mandragora and they want to stop you really with something like Max C, well, they have to Max C before you do it, and you're probably not going to do it if they Max C. So it kind of stresses something that really is kind of critical. 2 Thunderbirds. This isn't my favorite evilswarm by any stretch of the imagination, but it does get something done. It does get that first monster on board if you open with something like it and Mandragora going first. It's a really good way to get a monster on board safely, because if your opponent wants to deal with it, they have to go -1 dealing with this quickly. So I feel that's pretty good. 3 Heliotropes for your rabbit. This card also beats over things like Gearkey Armor, Thunder King Ryo. It does good things. And it's a quick way to get into Ophion with Rescue Rabbit. So basically the entire point of everything up until now has been to make Ophion, which is the main protector of the deck. This next card isn't really so much that as it's just a protector. 1 Thunder King Ryo. This card stops decks like Spellbooks, Dead. It's preventative against Geargia, Fire Fists, Constellars. It's preventative against all of those. So this card is really a solid choice overall. And 1900 isn't a small body, and unless it's the mirror match, I mean, getting over this thing is not particularly easy. And this isn't even that great in the mirror match. 1 Dark Armed. Remarkably easy to set up, remarkably powerful when you drop it directly after an Ophion, because if your opponent sets up, gets rid of an Ophion, they've probably used up a lot of their resources, and then you bring in Dark Armed and clear out the rest of them. It's really devastating. And meanwhile, you only used potentially 2 cards to get there, and then the 3rd in Dark Armed, which means at that point you'll have 4 more cards. 2 Max C, potentially giving the deck advantage over decks like Gearkia, Mermail, anything that really likes to special summon a lot. This deck is kind of very centralized around having advantage in its favor, so 2 Max C is definitely good. I've been bobbling between this and Valor. I don't know which one I want to play. I'm going to save this to make sure I don't time out. But yeah, Max C is definitely good. But I don't know if I like it or Valor more in this format. I'm thinking Max C. Just because Valor, its only real great proving ground is Fire Fist. And maybe Constellars. But, I mean, I really do like Max C more. 2 Pandemics, your built-in Ophion protection. Or your just big Lance. A lot of people just assume this card's automatically for Ophion, but I mean, you can use it for more than protecting Ophion. You can use it to protect any of your evilswarms. So you can protect game shots, you can protect a lot of things. You can protect evilswarm, Bahamut, Nightmare, any of your evilswarms you can protect. Allure of Darkness, Book of Moon, Dark Hole, and Rhoda. Allure and Rhoda are for speed and consistency. Those are very important. And then 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, answering all of the tankies this format, slowing decks down, which is very important. Tenki at 3 is really good for Fire Fist, really good for Bujin. So this is a way to kind of like reel those decks back in. Um, Even though, I mean, Bujin is a weird matchup to begin with. Um, but, yeah. Two Dark Illusion. I play this over Safe Zone. One, because I don't have two Safe Zones. I could easily acquire my second Safe Zone if I really wanted to. Um, but I really didn't feel it was necessary at moving into the new format. And the reason being is that Fire Fists are going to try to victimize Ophion plays, and Dark Illusion is the way to victimize them for making a play that victimizes you. It really is a defensive play that is kind of a really powerful one too, because once you clear their board of the bear, you can attack in, and then, well, if it's with an Ophion, that's more than a third of their life. So it's really good. No, slightly less than a third of their life. Slightly less. Two Mirror Force. Stopping Fire Fists and just shutting down OTKs unless they trap stun you. Trap stun's very popular right now, which is kind of bad for this deck. It really hurts, but two Fiendish Chains. This card is just the trap that fills in. Bottomless Torrential Compulsion Warning. Yeah. Infection. This card's amazing, and it can make players make really bad plays when they think they might be doing the right thing. So let's say you have, let's say your only monster in hand is a caster. Let's say that's the only card in hand, and they bottomless the caster trying to get a solid position. Well, you can chain Infection, get a Kirkion, and then create a solid position for yourself, knowing that they don't have bottomless. So you can deal with one of their resources, put one of your great cards back in the deck to potentially draw again, or search, and then get Kirkion to just set up an even stronger position for yourself than what the caster would have been. So they're either going to leave you with a good position or a great one, and in either case, I'm okay with that. One Erad. Erad is almost game against Fire Fists. They can't really deal with it calling spells, because if they, let's say you go first, set up an Ophion, pass, they activate Tenki, you chain this. Well, the Tenki's destroyed, so they won't get their search, and you'll probably hit more spells in their hand. And even if you don't, it doesn't really let them set up all the plays that they like to do. And let me just talk about something real quick. In relation to my Thunder King, I would have played Mistake, but this card has a hefty price tag. $23 for one card is a lot of money. And it's on something that it wouldn't even really be that crucial to the deck. It wouldn't be a part of the engine. It'd be a side deck card at best. So, the two Veilers. Veiler is good against Fire Fist, Constellars, so you still do need this in contrast to the Maxi to make sure you can cover all the decks. Dimensional Prison, Soul Drain, and Macro, covering a lot of area, such as Mermails, Dark World, what else? It probably covers random other stuff, like Insectors, it covers that, random other stuff, but he's mainly from Mermail. Light Imprisoning, Bujins, Constellars, Agents, hitting those. Mind Crush, hitting the Fire Fist match. They love to search, so this card ripping cards out of their hand is important. Hitting a bear before they can play it is amazing. And one Deck Devi. This card hits rogue decks really hard. This hits Girgia Curry so hard that they can't come back from it. Because to be honest, if you're holding them down with an Ophion, they're not in a great position. And if you blast them with this and keep that Ophion on field, which isn't hard because you could easily summon another rank 4, then you're going to be in a phenomenal position because they're not going to have any way to fight back. And then two-dimensional prisons as another way to deal with Fire Fist, because they do have to attack. That's a very important part of the deck, is they have to attack to get the effective bear off. I didn't have room for D-Prison in the main deck, but I mean, it's good side decked. 3 Ophions, because Ophion is the main card. We all know what it does, we all know how good this card is. Bahamut. This is, in my opinion, the better of the evilswam rank 4s. Not because of that Ophion isn't amazing, just that Ophion's not as good as it was last format, and Bahamut's still a big eye, and it's a big eye that can attack after it uses its effect. So this card is very powerful, stealing monsters, setting up for Kirkion. It's an amazing card. Nightmare. This card's more of a random thing. It's good against Constellars. It's the way you win that matchup. So, Key Beetle, protecting things. This card can protect your Light Imprisonings, your Macro, your Soul Drain, your Dimensional Fissure. It protects your continuous cards. Diamond Direwolf, shutting Royal Decrees down. Black Ship, getting rid of things like Black Ship should, hopefully. This card hits Yamato, so it's good. It hits Mikazushi. Photon Papal Operative and Maestroke, this Symphony Jin. Maestroke is really good in the mirror match. It's a good card overall, flipping things down so you can attack over them. And Papal Operative flipping things up so you can attack over them. Not bad. Abyss Dweller to hit Mermails. It's definitely important to be able to hit those decks with something in the extract too. Crazy Box as the Erad target. Because in an ideal world, when you activate Eradicate or Epidemic Virus, in an ideal world you're not getting rid of an Ophion. One Gemini Pearl. This card serves something that a lot of people just seem to not realize, but I mean, I realize it, so yeah. The first thing this does is it gets over Ophion, which is important, but the main thing that it does is it's a normal monster. And that doesn't seem important, but with everyone playing Fiendish Chain, it kinda is. Having a card that has 2600 attack and not immune to Fiendish Chain is very important. And it's kind of so important that it almost demands a spot in every deck. And then one Gaga Cowboy, because I don't need to explain this. This card wins games. Yeah. Give me a comment down below on anything you could add to the deck or change about it. I'm not adding mistakes in. That was just there as a pure, like, why I'm not playing it. But yeah, any constructive criticism I would be happy to take. And thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Alright, bye.